Sorry, I'm from Hong Kong and I'm studying chemistry. While I'm no Olympic athlete, sports has always been my favorite way to meet friends and de-stress. And my experience as my former high school volleyball team captain, I know exactly what goes into making a sports event successful. I also have experience waking up early before class to fight to book courts online, and I know exactly how hard that can be. However, I also know that sports can be really intimidating for some, especially beginners. I've definitely had a lot of intimidating sports experiences. For example, just last summer, I spent more than a few nights playing volleyball from 7 to 11 p.m. at this outdoor court with dozens of strangers that I'd never met before, all because a guy who I thought was cute back then invited me to go. But in the super sweaty, hot 30-degree heat of Hong Kong weather, I was shaking and my knees were scraped and I was sweating like a pig on that outdoor court. And I was more than a little intimidated by everyone there because they were all a lot better than me at Cantonese. A lot of them were much older and they were all way better at me and at volleyball as well. But at the end of the day, even though I couldn't really speak that much Cantonese and all of them spoke mainly in Cantonese, while my own Cantonese ability is limited to just a few set phrases like goyo wo, which is what you say to the minibus driver when you get off the minibus, and dong lai ta siu bing, which is how you order a milk tea at a restaurant with less ice. I still managed to somehow make friends with them at the end, just through the shared experience of having fun with them and playing sports together. And we would play until 11 p.m. when the courts closed and the lights turned off, and then we'd go and get dessert together afterwards. That's exactly the kind of experience that I want to bring to ABACUS. Not the buckets of disgusting sweat and the pressure and the stressful language barrier, of course, but the experience of being able to meet people that you never would have before and the unlikely friendships that are formed through sports. I strive to make ABACUS sports events a fun, friendly, and safe environment for everyone to come to, no matter their skill level, and I just want people to be able to bring their friends and have fun and to try out a new sport that they've never tried before. And since this role comes with being welfare officer as well, I'm always happy to be here to help anyone who needs it. Be it if you just want to chat and you want to talk about struggles, or if anyone wants to talk about their stresses, because believe me, I know a little too well what it feels like to be weeks behind in lectures to catch up on, and to have assignments that are due, and essays to turn in. But if you guys are more on top of things than I am, and especially all of the other ABACUS members who aren't in this room, I'm always open for anyone to talk if they just want to. And for all the freshers coming in next year, I'd be happy to answer any questions about uni life in general.
First question is, let's say that you are in the middle of an inter-uni ABACUS sports tournament and the match gets a little heated. People start to get physical and someone has made a racist comment about another member in another university. They were not East Asian. A fight almost breaks out. What steps would you take to defuse the situation?
I think the first thing to do would be just to get their attention and to yell out a bit to get them to stop, just go, hey, stop. Well, obviously you tell them to stop that. And I think that the racist comment is really something that's unacceptable and definitely not something that we want in ABACUS events, since these are supposed to be safe, fun places, especially for, as a society for Asian people, I don't think it's acceptable for us at all to have any racism in this. So I think that person would have to be taken aside, and then I don't think it would be acceptable for us to let them keep on playing with everyone after a fight nearly breaks out because of their racist comment, right? So I think they'd have to be taken aside, and then we'd probably talk to them a little bit. Maybe we'd get them to leave depending on how bad their racist comment was or how much the fight escalated. But I think that's it. We just remove them from the situation, diffuse the situation, and make sure that everyone's happy and the game continues.
And your next question is, in an event where a UCL student was not fully conscious due to excessive alcohol consumption, was alone without their phone or any identification with them, how would you go about identifying them? What would you do?
I think that, well, first of all, this would probably be at some event, some ABACUS clubbing event, right? So maybe so if I have absolutely no idea who they are and nobody's around for me to ask who they are, then I think that I would just sit with them for a while and try, get them some water and wait for them to regain consciousness maybe, and just have water and snacks for them for when they regain consciousness. But if that's really not happening, and if there's no way of me moving them from the situation, and if it's really late and there's no one around, then I think I might call my friends to come help me with the situation and just come sit with me, and maybe we can come sit with that person, because they're not going to stay unconscious forever, right? We'll just maybe just stay by their side until they regain consciousness, because I don't think I can move them and take them back home with me, that would be quite bad. And if none of their friends are around and I don't know who they are, then I think the best move in this case would just be to stay with them until they wake up and make sure nothing bad happens to them.
And what if the student was from another London ABACUS university? What would you do?
I don't think that any difference would apply. If they were from another ABACUS university, I'd just stay with them. Maybe I'd talk to friends that I have in that uni to see if they have any idea who's in their events and like tell them a description of the person maybe. If I feel like they're a trustworthy person, then I'd like ask them if they know who they are and how to help them.
Does anyone have any questions for Anika?
Hi, yeah, so back to scenario 1. Someone's just made a racist comment, you've taken them aside. Let's say that there were lots of people who witnessed what happened and they took it very seriously and they took offense to it as well. How would you deal with the other people witnessing that?
I feel like afterwards, I'd have to talk to everyone in the group. As welfare officer, I'd have to make sure that everyone at the event feels safe and happy. So I'd probably have to talk to them individually and like maybe like while people are playing, I wouldn't try and make a big deal out of it and address everyone in the group because I feel like that would be awkward. As the game keeps playing, then I'd like try and talk to people one-on-one on the side and just ask them how they're feeling and see if anyone's like, see how everyone's feeling and just talk to them one-on-one and make sure that everyone's feeling okay.
And then, sorry, another question. So scenario 2, obviously in a night out, people can be irresponsible, people can get too drunk and black out. But also keep in mind that this is a clubbing event and you're probably there to have fun as well. So how do you manage a balance between having your own fun and also making sure that other people are okay? Because there's going to be a lot of people there and you can't keep an eye on everyone. So how do you communicate with other people to do this?
I feel like I try my best, obviously, to take care of everyone who I can and to like keep my eyes out because even though it is a clubbing event and I'm there to have fun, like I'm still there as welfare officer and that's my role and I'll be aware of that. But in terms of keeping an eye out on everyone in the club, I don't think I could really do that. But I mean, I think I could communicate with the other ABACUS committee members to just keep an eye out because everyone, honestly, it's everyone's shared responsibility to make sure no one's like falling and like no one's in danger, right? So I don't think that I can keep an eye out for everyone, but I just try my best and ask the other committee members for help.
Sports X, any questions? Yep.
As welfare officer, it's important that we promote issues like mental health awareness and all that stuff. So how would you go about doing that, especially with the nature of having predominantly supposed to?
Yeah, I feel like maybe, obviously I'm open for people to just DM me and talk to me whenever because that's my role as welfare officer. But I feel like maybe like at sports events, if I notice that anyone's feeling down or anyone's not quite quiet and reserved and not feeling okay, then I just go up to them and talk to them and like chat with them and be friendly and just try and get their mood up and be with them. And I guess I'm not sure if this would be like an ABACUS thing that we can do where we host events where it's like, I don't think that would be a possible thing for us to host mental health events or like have appointments where they talk to me one-on-one. I feel like that might, I'm not sure about that one, but I'm just always there if I notice that anyone's feeling down. And especially in my sports events, I'll always be keeping my eye out for anyone who looks like they're keeping to themselves or not looking very happy.
Say, like, if you were in a situation where maybe, for example, like, 2 people kind of approached you with, like, an issue that they had, but, like, they almost, both of them are trying to get you to, like, fight for their side. How would you, like, approach that situation so that you're not just, like, picking a side? How would you approach that if you had that issue?
It really depends on what the issue is. I feel like, so do you think in terms of like in sports events, simply like who got the point in a match? Or?
Yeah, maybe for example, if there's a sports event and then there's some like tension or conflict between 2 people and they kind of approach you to address like that issue.
So between just 2 people?
It could be 2 people. So, essentially, if there was like 2 sides to the issue.
I guess it's hard to answer this question without much more context on what the issue is because I feel like the answer really depends on the actual issue. If there was like an issue, a disagreement with the sport and like who got a point, and I think the point would just be replayed like usual. But if there was tensions between 2 people, then I just like try and talk to them both it's hard to say exactly what I'd say to them and how I console both of them without knowing like what the situation is, right? But I just talk to both of them and try and make sure both of them are appeased and that there's no remaining tension between them.
Any other questions from committee?
Is there any precaution that I would take for like excessive alcohol consumption or like illegal substances, like those kind of stuff?
I feel like for excessive alcohol consumption, before you're in the club, of course the bouncers will make sure that no one who's too drunk gets in the club, but I think once you're in the club, there's not much that I can do to make sure that people don't drink too much. I'm not going to stand at the bar and tell them, no, you've had too much, stop right now. I don't think that's something that I can do because people are at the club and some people, like, I don't know, I can't watch everyone and make sure that they don't drink too much, and also in terms of illegal substances, there are bag checks at the club by the bouncers and things. I'm not sure exactly how I can prevent people from taking them, apart from just if I see them, then if I see them with drugs, then I'm gonna say something about it, right? Or if I see people who are too drunk, then I'll try and take care of them. But I can't prevent people from doing that, and I can't prevent people from sneaking in drugs and taking them in the bathrooms. There's nothing that I can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.